it is wherever you are. My name is Katie, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another astrology people for today, the 17th of October, 2021. Hooey, my friends. This is like, wow, big day. It's a big day. It's a really big day. It's SUPERCALIFRAGILISTICEXPIALIDOCIous. It is. That's like literally, I started looking at this and that was the first thing I heard. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. Na 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 na. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This is something that is a massive, massive, massive mouthful. This is something that is huge, that is hard to handle, that is challenging, that is big, that is it's a tongue twister. It's mind blowing. It's oh my fucking god. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It feels like a lot to unpack. It's big work ahead. We're going to need to take a deep breath before we tackle this, all right? It's just a lot going on. It's a lot of energy. And I don't want you guys to get scared, right? But it's a lot, all right? It's a lot. There's a lot going on. This is not, as far as astrology goes, this is one of these, like, it's a big day. Okay, it's a big day. All right, first of all, we have the moon squaring Venus. So as of yesterday, the moon went into Pisces. Pisces is a very dreamy, watery sign. It is like possibly the most watery of the dreamy of the water signs. Like, it's so elusive that I almost always forget that it's part of the zodiac. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Aries. No, Pisces first. Pisces is so can be very, 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 very attuned to the water of a situation. So it can be misrepresented as overly emotional, but it because it is just so connected to the energy that is on a much deeper level. Pisces is profound, all right? It is profound. And that's why it's easily misunderstood. Yeah? Okay, so the moon in Pisces, this is our emotion. This is our subconscious. So to this couple of days it's big, all right? The moon in Pisces is very dreamy and sometimes easily emotionally triggered. So we could be in the big feels right now, which may have some people kind of calling us a crybaby. I'm hearing that you might be met with judgments, and it could even be yourself kind of beating up yourself for being so emotional about something. But I'm really feeling that, like, what is it? Don't let anybody gaslight you, okay? Don't let anybody tell them that your feelings are not valid, because I'm hearing that a lot of, like, anybody who's judging you for experiencing emotion right now, or for being vulnerable, even if it's yourself, it's because there's some greater thing that is just misunderstood about the whole situation. This situation is really, it's profound. It's profound, and it's more than what meets the eye. All right. So if you're feeling extremely triggered emotionally today, just be nice to yourself, and don't let anybody, even yourself, tell you that those emotions are not valid. Okay. With the moon in a sextile with Uranus, I'm hearing that you're going to have a huge purge, and it's going to heal you. Okay, you need to have a purge. It is what it is. There's been big changes lately, and it feels as though our emotions are finally catching up with all that's happened. Okay, you've been not able to process emotionally all the shit that's gone on around you. Yeah, just because you've been so inundated with emotion, you've just been so inundated with energy eventually that you spent all of your personal energy coping with the energies that were coming towards you. Yeah, you were just like, it was like you were a triage nurse. Just like, I have the capacity to treat each one of these patients, but I just need to get them all in order and understand what's going on with all of them before I make any decisions about what is acted on first, right? So you've been completely bombarded with stuff going on, and now today you might be experiencing an extreme upwelling of emotions that you've pushed down in order to deal with the situation. You know, it's the idea of, like, you know, if there was like an explosion and you were a paramedic and you went in and you were like helping the relief of an earthquake or a natural disaster, you would like be so fight or flight, helping as many people as you could, dealing with as many situations as you could, putting out as many fires as you could, and the adrenaline would take over. That there would be a certain point after a few hours that you would just like have a minute where you would need to sit down and go like, oh my, and like it kind of all rushes in, right? Um, the moon is also in conjunction with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and luck, and it goes direct tomorrow. So we're feeling super lucky about all that has happened, right? But parts of us are still reeling from the sheer shock of all of this, and we might be sort of looking around and saying, "Pinch me." Yeah, it's that these three vibes are all like we're just reeling. We're just like, I cannot believe that this shit is happening. I can't believe it. Like we know it's for our greater expansion. We know it's for our good. We know it's to take away the things that aren't fitting us for us. We know it's to call in our abundance. We know it's going to heal us, but we know that it takes apart the masks that we've maybe unwilling or unknowingly put on that didn't serve us. But it's still, we're still feeling a certain type of way about it. Like we understand all of the good stuff about this stuff, but we still just can't help but cry. Yeah. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, I'm hearing. Pinch me, pinch me, pinch me. I'm still asleep. Maybe some of you guys are having your dreams come true today. Or maybe even something that you've, like, it's overwhelming, okay? Don't let anybody gaslight you. Don't let yourself gaslight you. Feel what you have to do in today's energies, okay? All right, we have Black Moon, Lilith, Sextile, and Chiron. This is some proper tragedy kind of stuff. Like I know, I was like, what does this even mean? But they said Romeo and Juliet zombies. It's almost like in the moments after Romeo and Juliet died, if you could like have been the medium standing there and see their spirits coming away from their body going, oh my God, like we gave up too soon. We could have had so much more down there in those bodies. Like, what have we done? What have we done? What have we done? Yeah. So it's this energy of like, it's almost like wondering if we've been too brash with some decision that we needed to make when we were in that fight or flight mode. Yeah. It's a very loaded energy. There's real resurfacing of past stuff right now. This is old wounds, it's old shame, it's buried feelings. All of it is coming to light right about now. It's all coming in right at once. It's raw. It's unfiltered. There's no anesthesia. All right. But it's completely going to rejuvenate, refresh, reset, restart. It's all for your better, but oh my God, does it ever feel raw? Yeah. And that could mean either way. Like sometimes the best things happening to you feel raw. Sometimes the worst things happen to you feel equally as raw. It's either way, it is a shock and awe kind of vibe where you're just like everything about today's astrology is something is throwing you for an emotional loop. It's completely taking you by surprise. You know it's for the better. You know that it's for the good. But oh my fucking God, like, is this really happening? Pinch me. Pinch me. Venus is opposite Black Moon Lilith. Our feminine side must face off with its shadow. Black Moon Lilith and Eve are literally standing face to face. Yeah. You've got to, the toxic femininity in your life is looking you straight in the face, and you've got a choice. You can do what you want with it. All right. You don't, it's, oh, how ironic. Sorry. That's really funny. Nothing. The toxic femininity is literally looking you straight in the face, and you have no choice but to face it now. All right. And this could be somebody coming and confronting you. This could be just you having a very introspective day where you're dealing with your receptive energy. This is whatever it is, your toxic femininity, that dark woman that I talked about in the Peephole or in the IGTV in my my live from a few days ago. That dark woman, if you've not already faced it, it's face to face now. It's face off. Okay? You really have to look at your shadow side and see what's up. Venus is also trining Chiron. So we're being considerate of the past trauma. We're considering how old patterns affect us and others. But we are now honoring the flow that allows us to use the past to overcome old constraints instead of wallowing in it. This is an evolution of energy. It's an expansion of energy where our wounds that once held us back are now boosting us forward. All right. Maybe once we finally face Black Moon Lilith, we're able to use Chiron as this amazing support system. For some of you, there's like a bit of a love triangle kind of scenario going on. I'm hearing very specific messages about this. I mean, Venus is involved, right? Black Moon Lilith is involved. Chiron is involved. For some of you, you might be stuck in a situation. There might be two feminines and a masculine, and the masculine got himself into this situation because of his wounds and is seriously regretting it and wish that he could take it all back. But there's just you and this other person are very, very much mirroring this, and it's like you might not even want to be involved. You might not even be aware of this situation going on. Yeah, you might not even be aware of this situation. You might not even know the other person. But there are two feminine energies. There's another feminine energy mirroring your femininity. Yeah, there's two feminines mirroring each other, and the masculine is going, what have I done? What have I done? Thing is, though, with this Venus trining Chiron is that like we're going to overcome these constraints, right? We're going to overcome these old wounds. We are going to get back up on our feet once and for all, never to be knocked over again. Okay, so the wounded warrior Chiron here, or sorry, the wounded healer Chiron here, he's doing some really major things for us right now, and it's making it so that we will never fall again because of these old past patterns. This Eight of Swords vibe that's kind of been plaguing us and haunting us, it's going to be dead after this. It dies. It ends now. Okay. Mercury is sextiling Venus. Okay, so Mercury goes direct tomorrow, as well as Jupiter going direct tomorrow. Mercury is like trying to take one last shot at our feminine side, all right? The Mercury vibes are like, it's almost like, it's maybe it's the thing that is encouraging these two feminines to look at each other eye to eye, all right? It's almost like it's like I'm seeing like Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty. It's like if Maleficent didn't even bother with the prince at all, and she just went and finished the job. Yeah. It's almost like Maleficent was like, screw everybody else. I see how this could possibly go. This prince is around. Yeah, he can save the day, and it's if I get rid of him, it's in my best interest. But let's be honest now, if I literally just go and kill that princess and watch her take her last breath, then I don't even care what the prince does. So Maleficent goes back and is like, I'm going to get this one. But it's almost as if the efforts that Maleficent does end up actually revitalizing Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. This bad news vibes, bad news bears tried to pull some grand maneuver to pull the wool over the feminine's eyes or to one up this divine feminine, but the plan is going to completely backfire. All right, there's going to be one of these feminines with really, 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 really nasty intentions, and they're going to try to do something, and it's not going to work. All right, it's not going to work. In fact, that meddling energy, some exterior force, is it, whatever they try to do to destabilize is actually going to end up turning around and actually benefiting who it was meant to destabilize. So whatever that means for you. So maybe some of you guys are working really hard at your job, and you're really hoping that your hard work is gonna speak for itself, and that you're going to have some sort of good outcome that comes from all of the dedication that you've done at work, right? And then somebody comes in and sees you sitting back waiting for this thing, and they're like, I'm gonna try and sabotage this person so that because I want to have that promotion that they're trying to lobby for. They're doing a lot of good things to look like to align themselves to get that promotion, right? But I'm gonna try and I'm gonna offer to turn in their assignment for them, and I'm just gonna happen to lose one of the pages in the assignment. And what happens there is that they put in that assignment, and it's like meant to sabotage that person, but in the end, that page of the assignment actually had a big mistake in it. And it was like, it was something that it's like one of one of your personal emails got somehow, you had like copy pasted somewhere, and you had copy pasted something from a personal email into your document, and that page that they pulled out actually removed you the embarrassment of your boss going over your personal email that was accidentally included in this. And that page was actually completely like, nothing actually got affected by it. It actually ended up making the report more concise, and your boss was like, oh my god, this is just absolute gold. Because of this report, I'm going to promote you. And that person's like, what? But I took a page out of that. That was meant to get them fired. And it actually gets you promoted. It's this kind of a vibe, okay? So whatever you're doing, just keep on doing whatever you're doing, okay? Because you are going to get recognition for it. And if other people are trying to meddle in your energy, it's going to backfire on them and make you look better. So don't worry, just hold tight, okay? Continue to sit in your receptive energy. It's very specific messages today, but it is what it is. Okay, the last thing that we need to talk about, and this is probably arguably the most important aspect of today, okay? The sun is in a square with Pluto. Okay, so I want to take us back. I want to recall the energies of last week. The moon met up with Pluto, and you're saying, what day was it? Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. The 13th. Yesterday, from where I'm filming this. The 13th of October. This is a recall to the 13th of October, okay? That's when the moon and Pluto had their little meeting, right? Pluto went direct, and it went up to sit in its general's tent, and then it called the moon up, and the moon came in like all shy, like going like, are you sure this is like me? You want to talk to me? And Pluto's like, yes, please sit down. Look, I've got some really good advice for you, but I'm not going to come and help you do it. You got to go and do it. And the moon is like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if I'm worthy. And they're like, it's just like, shut up, moon. Just take this energy. Don't try and overdo everything. This is what you got to do. And sent it away. And the moon was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Well, today is the day that the moon's energy, all of that advice started to get fought for by Venus. Okay, Venus is the one, the feminine energy that's like coming forth and making all of that advice that Pluto gave to the moon, to our subconscious, bringing it forth. Today is the day that all of that stuff comes to fruition and comes into being with our feminine energy consciously, all right? Well, while Venus does all of these plans, while Venus carries out these plans for the better of all, I'm hearing Venus in Sagittarius, right? In the name of love, Venus is doing all this crazy shit today in the name of love, in the name of abundance, in the name of the flow of natural energy. Meanwhile, the sun is having a similar confrontation with Pluto. And I struggled to find the word when I was making my notes. And I wanted to say meeting, and they were like, it's not a meeting. And I was like, okay, review. No, it's not a review. Conflict? And they're like, no, not quite. And I was like, confrontation. They're like, bingo, that's the one. I was like, but that seems like they're like, it is. It's a fight. Okay? There is right now an ego battle going on. Okay? And this could also be reflected by those two feminines hashing it out. Okay? There is an ego battle going on. The ego has the choice to take this as it will. The sun has the choice to take this as it will. The masculine energy, the giving energy, has a choice to make today. It's in square with Pluto. Pluto is challenging the sun. Pluto is sitting back and it's saying, look, sun, you can come in here and you can burn down my tent if you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? Or you can take my advice and integrate this into your reality and change yourself for the better and put yourself out there in a more healthy way, all right? Pluto energy can put us in our fields, but Pluto energy can also be extremely practical, pragmatic, and intelligent. Pluto energy, even though it's far away from the battle, can see things so clearly that it can give us just the right little subtle cues to get us exactly where we need to be. Yeah. Pluto has great wisdom, and if the sun if the sun heeds its advice, there's going to be victory. There's going to be illumination. There's going to be happiness. There's going to be joy. There's going to be celebration. There will first be struggle. Okay, it's like you always kind of squint when you come out into the sunlight at first, right? It's like there's a moment of discomfort, yeah? But ultimately, there will be victory. Ultimately, you will benefit from this illumination. But if the sun goes into ego moon, resists, tried to burn down the tents, flips the table, throws the chair, freaks out over what Pluto has to say to it, Nothing but challenge and obstacles and frustrations await. As above, so below, my friends. How do you deal with today's energy? However you're going to deal with it, it's just going to call more of that straight into you, okay? It's really intense vibes, I know. Okay, I'm using the Wild Wolf Tarot. It's not a deck that I use very often, but I used it the other day on the Moon Transit to Aquarius video. That was the 14th of October, 2021, the day that I'm recording this video, actually. Yeah, I was called to use this deck today and in the live, and if you've not seen that one, maybe you should go check it out. It's entitled Open Fire, it's called. They wanted me to pull it out today again. Lots of noise. Sorry, my friends. Okay, that should be fine. So we have the Watchers is Watcher's Sword. Yeah. So we have the Three of Swords and the Knight of Swords. The key words here are ambition and separation. Okay? There's been conflict. There's been separation from the things that you desire. There's been division from yourself. You've separated yourself from yourself. You've divided yourself out. You've ostracized yourself. You've forgotten yourself. You've thrown yourself to the dogs, I'm hearing. You've thrown yourself to the dogs. Yeah, there was a real, and I mean, not just you. There were circumstances that came into play, but ultimately you were the one that held yourself in this energy of separation. You made yourself into the lone wolf, okay? And you threw yourself off, and you put yourself at the edge, and you threw yourself away, and you broke your own heart. All right, but the thing is that with the pack of the knight in this deck is called the pack. So the knight is usually about forward motion, about the way we go and get something, but in this deck, it's about the pack. It's nobody hunts alone. Yeah, the only reason you're having this heartbreak is because you're doing something that's totally unnatural to you. You're a wolf, and you're meant to do things with others. You're meant to collaborate. You're meant to have a pack around you. You're meant to howl with the pack. All right? Some of you are opening up your throat chakra and speaking your truth. Some of you have ambitions that you want to communicate with people, that you want to go after. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight. He's the one that moves forward with his truth, for his truth, does it in the name of love. But you can't do it alone. Okay? Your Venus energy sits back and relaxes in a certain sense. But we've been sitting in this receptive feminine energy for a little while, trying to allow and accept things that come to us and act accordingly. Bring in our masculine energy in a positive sense. Once we've evaluated with our feminine energy, but not in a helicopter parent way, then we know how to more constructively move forward, right? Under the deck, oh, look at this. We have the Emperor, the masculine structure. What was I just saying? Once we know how to structure ourselves, once we balance our masculine energy, we need it. Yeah, maybe the masculine energy needs to go through this lone wolf kind of vibe before, but then it realizes that there is something to be said for howling with the pack. Okay, just because you're the king of the castle doesn't mean you do it by yourself. Just because you're independent doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself. Okay, there is this very important energy today of ending the isolation, of coming together, even though I'm hearing some of you need to come together even though you think it'll hurt you to do that. Either way, it's up to, there's masculine energies that are really being called to take particular action today. I'm hearing determination and volunteer. I am heard, the same damn thing. Okay, determination and volunteer is determination is a double-edged sword here, because there was like there was this energy that was super determined, yeah, that pushed, that tried, that worked, that determined push ended up breeding some other sort of determination. It ended up mirroring and balancing. It was like there was an unhealthy version of determination, but once you offered up your hand to something, I'm hearing, then it shows how that determination may have been misjudged. This little shiny heart here. This is a change of heart. Somebody might have been seeing you at some point as trying too hard, as chasing, and now they're doing the chasing. The tables have turned. They don't see you as a chaser anymore because they're willing to collaborate now, because they're not sitting in their lone wolf energy anymore. They now see that what you were doing was never how they saw it. In fact, you were just trying to be, your vulnerability was beautiful, in fact, because all you were trying to do was offer up a helping hand. And they swatted it away because they thought that you wanted something from them. Or maybe that's you feeling that way about somebody else. But I'm hearing that they're not the same damn thing that I am heard. This is what solidifies it for me. Is that this was a cycle that kept on coming up. And somebody was going, no, it can't. No, it can't be. But finally they're realizing that the real reason that cycle keeps coming up. They're hearing you for the first time. They're hearing you for the first time, not hearing you, They're understanding. They've healed some part of themselves so that when you speak now, they actually hear what you say instead of just, it's like for a long time you were talking and you were the adult for the peanuts going, and then they did this healing work and they're finally grasping the words of what you're saying. Or maybe this is you, somebody is finally speaking Greek. Yeah, it was Greek to them once, but they're finally speaking Greek. It's very specific. It's a long one today. One more. New adventure. There's new beginnings. You weren't meant to understand. Because you weren't ready to start the new adventure. But now that you're ready to start the new adventure, everything is understood. Yeah, something new is starting. That's it. Something new is starting, and you're finally ready to understand the language. That's it. All right, my friends. I will be back tomorrow, both on Instagram and and right here. Tomorrow's a big day. Jupiter and Mercury go direct, so big day. We're going to talk about it. But until then, I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to the circuit I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, ancestors, and whatever other energy was involved in bringing us these beautiful messages for our greatest good, whether it be today, the near future, or the distant future. These readings are timeless, ultimately, and even if the astrology doesn't coincide with where you are, the messages sure do if you found them. I love you to the moon and the stars and infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. But if not, it's all good. Catch you next time.